All right, so get this. Today we're taking a deep dive into the world of quantum sensors.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But there's a twist.
You ready for those?
We're talking about how something as ordinary as a grape,
A grape?
yeah,
Really?
could actually hold the key to major advancements in this cutting-edge tech.
Wow, I wouldn't have guessed that. How does a grape come into play with quantum sensors?
Well, think about those viral videos you've probably seen of grapes sparking in the microwave.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
So it turns out that same principle, it's at work here, but this time
Yeah.
scientists are focusing on the impact grapes have on magnetic fields instead of electric fields.
Interesting. So instead of the sparks, it's the magnetic fields around the grapes that are important.
Exactly.
I see.
And that shift in focus
Yes.
is what makes this research so relevant to quantum technology.
Yeah. So before we get into the details, can we back up a sec?
Sure.
For those who might need a refresher, what exactly are quantum sensors, and why should we care about them? Good point. Quantum sensors, they're basically devices that use the principles of quantum mechanics to measure things
Right.
with incredible precision.
Yeah.
I mean, we're talking about the potential to revolutionize all sorts of fields, from medical imaging
Okay.
to navigation.
Wow.
Imagine being able to detect diseases like right at their earliest stages.
Right.
Or picture like navigating with crazy accuracy without even needing GPS.
That's wild. So the potential impact is huge.
It really is.
But how do grapes fit into all of this?
That's where the real star of this deep dive comes in.
Okay, lay it on me.
It's called a nitrogen vacancy center,
Nitrogen.
or NV center for short.
NV center.
Basically, it's a tiny defect,
a defect.
yeah, within the structure of a diamond,
Mm.
and it acts like a microscopic magnet,
Interesting.
making it super sensitive to magnetic fields.
So a defect in a diamond is the key here.
It is.
That's pretty unexpected.
I know, right? But what's even cooler is that these NV centers,
Okay.
they emit red light when they're hit with a green laser.
Oh, wow.
And the intensity of that red light, it directly corresponds to the strength of the magnetic field that's surrounding them.
Okay, I'm following.
So by measuring the change in that light,
Right.
we can basically determine the magnetic field strength.
I see. That makes these NV centers incredibly sensitive magnetometers.
Precisely.
Fascinating.
So we've got our tiny magnetic field detective, the NV center,
Uh-huh.
and the grapes. Well, they're somehow enhancing its detective work.
So how did the researchers figure this out? Did they, like, just stick a grape next to an NV center and see what happened?
It was a bit more involved than that.
Okay.
But yeah, they designed this experiment where they took a nano diamond, it had those NV centers in it,
Right.
and they put it on the tip of a fiber optic cable,
Got it.
and then they sandwiched it between two grapes.
Like, literally just put it between two grapes.
Yep, two carefully chosen grapes, each about 27 millimeters long.
Wow, that's pretty specific. And then what?
Then they zapped the whole setup with microwaves.
Okay, and what happened? Did the grapes actually do anything?
The results were pretty surprising.
Oh.
Adding the grapes to the experiment, it amplified the magnetic field
Ah.
that was surrounding the NV center.
Really?
Yeah, significant.
It's like the grapes were acting as little antennas or something,
That's a great way to put it.
focusing the energy and making the magnetic field stronger.
Exactly. They created a hot spot right where the sensor was.
Wow. So ordinary grapes can actually boost the performance of a quantum sensor.
That's what the research suggests.
That's incredible.
But to really understand how this works,
Yeah.
we need to dig a little deeper into the science.
Okay, I'm all ears. What's the secret behind these powerful grapes?
Well, researchers discovered that both the size and the shape of the grapes,
Okay.
those are crucial factors.
I see.
They act as resonators.
Resonators.
Yeah, meaning they trap and concentrate that microwave energy at specific frequencies.
Gotcha.
And those resonant frequencies, they're determined by the grape's physical characteristics.
So it's not just any grape will do.
You got it.
There's a specific kind of grape that works best for this.
You're catching on quick.
Well, I'm trying.
It's like finding the perfect acoustic resonance in a musical instrument.
Ah, that makes sense.
But there's another piece to this puzzle,
Okay.
and it's one you might not expect.
Water.
Water.
Yeah.
What does water have to do with all of this?
It turns out water, it's really good at concentrating microwave energy.
Really?
Right.
Even better than some high-tech material?
Even better than materials like sapphire.
Wow. I would have thought you'd need something fancy for that.
It's surprising, right? And grapes, of course, they're primarily made up of water.
Right, of course. That is really unexpected, though.
So, The humble grape,
Yeah.
packed with its simple water molecules, might just hold the secret to building more powerful quantum sensors.
That's pretty amazing. But before we go any further,
I'm curious about how they actually measured this magnetic field enhancement.
good question.
What did that process look like?
Well, it involved a technique called optically detected magnetic resonance,
Optically detected magnetic resonance,
or ODMR.
ODMR.
It might sound a bit complicated,
Yeah, a little bit.
but the principle behind it is actually quite elegant.
Okay, break it down for me. How does ODMR work?
Yeah.
And how did they use it with the grades and the NV centers? Okay, so remember how we were talking about those NV centers emitting red light when they're hit with a green laser?
Yeah, the fluorescence, right?
Right, exactly. That red light, well, it's actually affected by the NV center's spin state.
Spin state.
Yeah, and that spin state, it's influenced by both the microwaves and the magnetic field.
Okay, so by exposing the NV centers to microwaves
Uh-huh.
and then seeing how their fluorescence changes,
Right,
they can basically figure out the strength of the magnetic field around them.
precisely. And here's the really interesting part.
Okay.
When those grapes were present,
Yeah.
the intensity of the red light
Hmm.
from those NV centers,
Okay.
it changed dramatically.
Really?
It showed a big increase in magnetic field strength.
Wow. And how much stronger was the field with the grapes compared to without?
Well, in some cases, the field was more than twice as strong.
That's a pretty significant boost. But I imagine this experiment wasn't exactly a walk in the park.
You're right, there were definitely some challenges.
Like what?
One of the biggest ones was the grapes themselves.
Oh, right, because grapes aren't exactly uniform.
Exactly. Natural products, they
Right.
vary a lot in size and shape.
And not to mention they're mostly water.
Yeah, the water content added another layer of complexity, for sure.
I can imagine. So maintaining consistency throughout the experiment must have been tricky.
It was crucial because remember those factors we talked about, the size and shape?
Yeah.
They directly affect those resonant frequencies.
Right, right. So while the water was surprisingly effective at concentrating the microwave energy,
Uh-huh.
it sounds like it also presented a bit of a challenge when it came to keeping things stable.
Exactly. That's a key takeaway from this research. Water is great at concentrating microwave energy,
Okay.
but it's not perfect.
In what way?
Well, compared to those materials like sapphire that are usually used in these applications,
Yeah.
water is less stable. It loses more energy in the process.
So it's a trade-off then.
It is.
The grapes, they have this amazing potential for boosting those magnetic fields because of all that water,
Yeah,
but they also have limitations when it comes to stability.
you've hit the nail on the head. That's a crucial challenge for researchers as they move forward.
Yeah, how to harness that power
Yes.
while also addressing that instability.
It's a fascinating problem.
It is. It seems like this research has opened up a whole new path in material science,
Absolutely.
looking to nature, to something as simple as a grape,
It is pretty amazing, isn't it?
for inspiration to design the next generation of tech.
It's a testament to interdisciplinary thinking.
Yeah, who would have thought that studying how grapes behave in the microwave could lead to breakthroughs in quantum sensing?
Exactly. It makes you wonder what other everyday objects might have hidden potential.
It really does. But let's bring it back to the grapes and their impact on quantum sensors.
Okay.
What are the big picture implications of this research? What could these grape-inspired technologies actually lead to?
The possibilities are vast, but one area that comes to mind is medical imaging.
Oh, yeah, that's a big one.
Imagine being able to detect tumors
Right.
at a much earlier stage,
That would be incredible.
or being able to identify those subtle biomarkers for diseases that are currently hard to diagnose.
Early detection is key for so many conditions.
Absolutely. Plus, quantum sensors could lead to less invasive procedures, which would mean less risk and discomfort for patients.
That's a huge plus. Are there other areas besides medical imaging where these sensors could be revolutionary?
Definitely. Think about navigation systems.
Are we talking about replacing GPS altogether?
Not necessarily replacing it,
Okay.
but making it less essential.
Mm.
Imagine having systems that are totally unaffected by signal interference or blockages.
So even in places where GPS is unreliable, these sensors could still provide accurate navigation.
Think about submarines
Okay.
navigating with pinpoint accuracy
Wow.
in the deepest parts of the ocean,
That would be incredible.
or self-driving cars maneuvering safely
Right.
through those areas where GPS signals are weak.
That makes a lot of sense, especially as autonomous vehicles become more common.
Right. And then there's material science.
Right, with those super detailed analyses.
Yeah, we're talking about potentially designing entirely new materials.
So materials with properties that we haven't even imagined yet.
Exactly.
What are some examples of the kinds of breakthroughs we could see in that area?
Well, one possibility is lighter and stronger materials for construction.
So we could build even taller buildings.
Potentially, yeah.
Or what about more efficient solar panels?
That could capture way more energy from the sun.
That would be amazing. It seems like we're just scratching the surface here.
I think so. And as researchers learn more about how water interacts with microwaves,
Yeah.
and as they develop new materials based on those discoveries,
Right.
I think we're going to see even more amazing quantum technologies in the future.
It's mind-blowing to think that something as ordinary as a grape could spark such cutting-edge advancements.
It really highlights the power of curiosity.
And being willing to look beyond the obvious.
You never know where inspiration might come from.
It really does make you wonder what other everyday objects might hold the key to the next big discovery.
That's the beauty of science. The possibilities are endless.
I think that's a great note to end on. This has been a fascinating exploration into the world of quantum technology and the humble grape.
It has been fun.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive.
Thanks for having me.
And until next time, keep those brains buzzing.
See you next time.